The U.S. attorney really laid out a months-long investigation into these very serious alleged crimes against the rap mogul. Now, he's going to be arraigned on these charges in just a bit. This was pushed back several times today already, so we're expecting later today him to be in court and arraigned on these charges, but he spent the night in federal lockup. Diddy was arrested at a Manhattan hotel on Monday night and has been in custody since then. But I'm going to let the U.S. attorney take it from here and explain exactly what the charges are against him. Take a look.
As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice.
Now, the details of those alleged crimes that are contained in this federal indictment, Nichole, are really brutal. They accuse Diddy of hosting what they're calling these freak-offs, which were these sex parties that they allege Diddy organized that involved different women that were brought in and coerced. They allege him applying them with alcohol and drugs and intimidating them with violence and weapons in order to engage in sex acts against their will. I mean, I want to read one part for you from this indictment that it's pretty brutal. It says, quote, Combs assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at, and kicking them. Now, that is something that we essentially saw in that now infamous video of him attacking his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, at a hotel. And the details of that incident are contained in this indictment, though it doesn't name her specifically. Several victims are referred to in here, Nichole, but again, names aren't specifically in there. And I do anticipate, Nichole, that there could be more charges forthcoming.
And Caitlin, just moments ago, the U.S. attorney mentioned those raids that we saw happen on Combs' homes earlier this year.
He did, and we now know that those raids were directly connected to this investigation and to this indictment. Those quote-unquote freak-offs that I mentioned, during those raids, investigators say that they recovered digital evidence of those things, videos that were taken sometimes without the knowledge of the women involved. Some other things that were obtained during those raids were, quote, 1,000 bottles of lubricant and baby oil that were involved in those sort of freak-off parties, in addition to several firearms and ammunition. 3 AR-15 rifles were found in the closet in Diddy's bedroom in Miami, according to investigators. Now, this could also lead to additional charges, though the U.S. attorney said that this is ongoing, and so he doesn't have any details about what those charges could be. There's also passing references in this indictment to something like arson, so we could see those coming forward, as well as perhaps other people. I mean, this racketeering charge involves a quote-unquote criminal enterprise. The enterprise is what makes it a federal racketeering charge, and that means other people could be involved. And we know who some of them are based on what we've seen in the several lawsuits that have been filed against Diddy. Now, you know, Nichole, before I throw it back to you, I do have to say that the allegations against him are really shocking. They're really brutal, but they're not surprising because we have seen them before contained in those civil lawsuits that have been filed against him. Now, his attorney, we caught him going into court earlier today. They haven't been arraigned yet, but he did say he's going to plead not guilty and defend his client. Take a look.
We knew this was coming. I mean, he moved to New York, as I think some of you guys know. We brought him to New York about 2 weeks ago because we knew this day was going to come, and it's here.
Did you expect it to happen last night? Was that planned?
No, it's not planned. Certainly, it's not planned by us. I mean, he came here to surrender at a time agreeable to the U.S. Attorney's Office, and then they arrested him last night. I spent the evening with him. I was with him for about 1 o'clock. His spirits are good. He's confident. He is dealing with this head on, the way he's dealt with every challenge in his life, and he's not guilty. He's innocent of these charges.
You know, the U.S. attorney did not indicate that there were any plans for Diddy to surrender, and while his attorney said that he's cooperating with the investigation, the U.S. attorney is saying that their definition of cooperation is a little bit different. So that arraignment should be happening later today. We expect Diddy to plead not guilty, and we do know that the U.S. attorney does want to keep him behind bars and locked up through this entire process, but I expect that his team is going to ask for him to be released on bail.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.